Hey everybody, I just wanted to show you all the electronic drum kits that I put together, the various kits that I'm playing right now. And these two that I'm starting off with here are actually here in my teaching studio. And basically, I kind of pieced together various parts and pieces with the stuff that I had to create both of these. And this one right here, start with this one. This is the best one in the studio here at the moment. And as you can see, it's an ATV XD3 module. I've got a Roland PD, I think it's a PD 120 or PD 100, one of those two, as the snare drum. I think it's 120 or 120X, something like that. And then I have the Simmons SD 1250 toms and rack and cymbals, except for the hi-hats. And I have a Yamaha bass drum. Now the Simmons bass drum actually is working fine, and I'm going to put it back on there, but the Velcro came off the bottom of it and it was sliding a bit. So I got some new Velcro. I'm going to stick it on there and put the Simmons one back on there because it just looks a little bit cooler, I think. And although this Yamaha one, these are only about $70, I think, something like that. And these are actually really good for the money. And yeah, so that's that kit. And as you can see, I took off one of the toms because the XD3 only has enough inputs for this amount of drums. And also the snare drum, I had to replace that because the Simmons snare drum, the SD 1250 snare drum, uses a proprietary connection on it. So I took that off of there. And then over here I have, this is an Avatar SD 61-6, mostly. The brain there is that. And I've got a Simmons kick drum on here. And I've got the extra Simmons tom being used as a snare. So I have myself a little bit of a bigger snare drum. There's a 10-inch snare now and 3 8-inch toms. And then I have a lemon, 12-inch lemon here as a ride, and then the Avatar default cymbals there, and then like a PDP kick drum pedal on there. And as you can see, I have this Simmons drum on a snare stand. And that actually works really good as a snare drum. And this one works really good too. The only thing, you might be interested, is the ride cymbal. This is a Simmons 3-zone ride, but they just use a single cable. So I just have a single cable plugged in there, and I get 2 zones out of it. I get edge and bow. Now, I think somebody makes an adapter where I could get that, the bell zone to work too, but for now I just have like the cable dangling right there. But it's not super important in a teaching setup. But I would like to get that working at some point. But I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice setup. The Simmons module I have here, I'll probably use it again in some other project. But for now, the reason why I wanted this one is because it sounds, the acoustic sounds on the ATV are just very professional sounding. And we have a performance coming up for the students. So I wanted to, have a more professional setup. And I want to have a better, cooler looking kick drum for the show, but I haven't figured that out yet. This is actually my newest edition. And, it's actually not totally new. I've had this kit for a few years already. However, what is new is this over here. The Roland TD07 module. And that thing, I actually am very, very impressed with. The price of those things is actually really cheap, for how good they are. Now, if you haven't seen Luke over at eDrum Workshop's video on these things, his video is really good. And it just tells you why this module is actually far better than I would have imagined. It's just really nice. The only thing that was kind of weird is I had to figure out some way to mount it because it doesn't have a standard drum module mount on it. So what I did is luckily I just had a leftover post from one of those drum sets that I showed you earlier. Actually, this is the snare post from the Avatar. So this is the extra tom. This is for the snare too, the snare mount. So basically I just took that arm and used that here with a clamp that I had and then stuck it on the module there, and that works really good. I was gonna cut off, part of this and make it a lot shorter, but I can't seem to find my saw, so I just left it like that. But anyway, yeah, that's the main difference. And this is basically, I have this set up. This is my road set. I don't play out a whole lot, but when I do and I use electronic drums, I tend to use this kit. Before I had a Roland TD6 module on there for playing live, and I posted a video about that too. But I've had a couple of different modules on this set, but just got some D-drum triggers on everything, red shots, single zone, and the kick, I just got this. This is a 2-box Triget trigger. And those things are really, really good. I have one for the snare too, but I have it somewhere else, so I need to go get it. But I'm going to put it back on here too. But, well, maybe. I mean, sometimes I kind of like a single zone live because it's less stuff to get wonky and drive you nuts when you're trying to play. But I don't know, we'll get it. Or I'll get it and see if I like it or not. And then the hi-hat, this is a Go eDrum hi-hat controller. And this is just a Roland CY5? No, CY8? Is that what it's called? I can't remember, but it's one of those. I'm sure somebody out there knows the real name. And we have a lemon crash cymbal up here, 2-zone crash, and then the Roland 3-zone ride cymbal, 13-inch. And that's all. And it actually, I still have one extra, I still have a tom that I could plug in too. And here is the main home studio setup. And you guys might have seen some videos on this. I've had a few different modules on this one as well, but I just upgraded here too. We got the TD17, Roland TD17 version 2. And this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I've liked the version 1. I used to have one of those and regrettably sold it, which you can update those to be the version 2. But I purchased this one and it just came with the upgrade. And it's just really, really good. It sounds so good. It triggers so good. You can layer sounds like crazy. It's got a bunch of new samples in there. It just sounds great. I'm super impressed with it. And this setup's really cool. I mean, this is the one I put a lot of money into. We have all the drum-tec triggers, internal triggers on all the drums. And then over here I've got a Roland pad, one of the bigger ones. I think that's like a 11-inch. And lemon crash here. A kind of similar setup for the hi-hats, except I've got a FD7 for the hi-hat controller there. And actually, I like that a lot. Some people don't like, like the old style hi-hat controllers, but I can't really find anything wrong with them. They feel really good and they just work. So I kind of really like that. And then over here, I've got the Lemon 18-inch 3-zone ride cymbal, which is very, very cool. And another Lemon. This is actually a 16-inch 3-zone ride, but I'm just using it as a crash. So overall, really big cymbals and just a really great setup. A lot of fun to play. This one I've been posting some videos with the group Sen, and maybe you saw some of those. But if you haven't, check those out. And yeah, so that's all the electronic kits that I have set up right now. And this one I basically just have set up to test because I have some gigs coming up pretty soon. Well, some potential gigs. They're not confirmed yet, but I think they're going to happen. So I'm going to be using this kit. And that's why I have that set up here. I was, getting everything configured and making sure it worked and everything. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. No playing in this one. It's too late. But anyway, I think it's a lot of fun to do this stuff. These are, both conversion kits. And they're just both really cool. This one's super compact. Sounds almost as good as this one. I mean, it really does. The TD07 sounds really, really nice. I'm going to make a more dedicated video on it pretty soon on both of these. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.